evidence Giorgio and David have been searching for that suggests the early inhabitants of Easter Island were in fact giant alien hybrid beings. Beings who forced a colony of giants, much like themselves, and who commemorated their time on the island by fashioning giant stone sentinels. We have these stories of giants worldwide, but in Malta we have some of the biggest megalithic sites in all of Europe that allegedly were built by the giants. The giants were offspring of the gods after they mated with human women. Then you have stories of the giants on Sardinia, many of whom have been suggested were originated by extraterrestrials. The origin story of the giants in the Bible is that angels mated with human women. The offspring were the giants.
So we have to wonder, are the seven sentinels actually giants? Part alien and part human? Perhaps they were escaping the Marquesas Islands because they were the ruling elite. And essentially they were overthrown because they had this power. And they went to Easter Island. Hi Marta, it's been so interesting here. You have such good information. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for sharing. Could it be that the so-called seven princes of the Marquesas were giant alien human hybrids? Hybrids who may have had access to extraterrestrial technologies that caused them to be thought of by the natives as kings or gods. And if so, could it be that the real reason these seven brothers left the Marquesas was not because they were fighting, but because they were fleeing for their lives, in fear of being killed and eaten by the natives? Ancient astronaut theorists say the answer is a profound yes, and believe that even more answers can be found, not only by examining the stone statues of Easter Island, but by also taking a closer look at what some of them are wearing on their heads. Isolated in the vast expanse of the South Pacific, Easter Island remains a land of mystery. Since its discovery by Europeans in the 18th century, very little is still known about the people who once lived there or their origins. But of all the mysteries involving the island otherwise known as Rapa Nui, the most persistent involve the nearly 900 megalithic statues known as Moai, and why they were put here in the first place.
The Moai are considered to be no more than perhaps 1,000 years old. However, it has been established that some of them penetrate down into the ground by a great amount of feet to reveal the rest of the body, not just the oversized head. And the amount of patination suggests that they are infinitely older than 1,000 years and could go back many, many, many millennia. When you visit Easter Island, you look at the sites there, the statues, the megalithic walls, you realise they're much older than what history tells us.
Further clouding the issue is a discovery that was made in 2017. With the help of photography and 3D modeling programs, archaeologists discovered that the 13-ton stone hats known as pukao on the Easter Island Moai contain a wide diversity of petroglyphs made by what appear to be different groups of people.
The hats that are on top of the Easter Island Moai are a little bit of a mystery, but recently they've been analysed and carvings have been found on them, which has questioned the idea of what they really represent. Perhaps there is something else going on here. It could well be that a number of different cultures lived on Easter Island. One of the most fascinating monuments on Easter Island is the stone platform, or Ahu, known as Vinapu, and this is a huge megalithic construction that is essentially a wall made of cyclopean megalithic blocks that all interlock with each other. When you look at this, you cannot help but think of Cusco in Peru. And there has to be a relationship between the two cultures. All of these part of a much bigger transmission of knowledge, where the common belief, was an origin amongst the stars.
If, as ancient astronaut theorists suggest, the seven Moai that face out to sea really do represent a race of giant alien hybrid beings that fled the Marquesas Islands hundreds and perhaps thousands of years ago, do the hundreds of other Moai represent their offspring? And if so, could they have had contact with other parts of the world, making Easter Island a virtual hub of extraterrestrial activity?
Easter Island has also got the strong legend that it is the center of the world, or the navel of the world. And there are various places around our planet that are said to be the navel of the world. They're in Cuzco, at Delphi in Greece, at Sardinia, and in Egypt. In many cases, there's a stone ball that is marking this center of the world spot. And we have that at Easter Island. So these navels of the world are apparently